Hello everybody, my name is Alan Loy. In relation to the third development of technology, it will pin out the corrects of realignment of time. The fund is a program to redesign the protocol, the network 5 in relation to the deployment. The deployment of the hemisphere will reprogram itself into the doors of 11. The 1143 transmission will begin in relation to the cells. CELL. Any funds in relation to third amount of technology, it will pin out the corrects of the realignment of time. The spirit of the sun will burst into tears to heaven based upon the controller. The controller will be 1P F315246-53249 in relation to the deployment. The deployment of the hemisphere will waysaw itself into the deployment of needed in relation to third amount. The technology will pin out the corrects of realignment of time. The spirit of the sun will burst into tears to heaven based upon the element of the design for the protocol. Because the protocol is network 5246-5249 in relation to the relay. So, the development of technology will pin out the corrects of realignment of time for Mars. The equation is EC5246-5249 by the border. Any border in relation to third amount of technology, it will pin out the corrects of realignment of time. This Mars is an equation of ECF5 in relation to the program. The program will reweave itself into the element of design for the protocol. Each protocol will network one on time. This is the Taskerman. The Taskerman is the border of the dimension. The dimension of EBFG15 is also. In relation to the 30 amount of technology, it will pin out the corrects of realignment of time for the funds. Any funds in relation to third amount of technology, it will position itself into the corrects of realignment of time. The spirit of the sun will burst into tears to heaven based upon the controller. Each controller will present itself into the needed in relation to the door, and in that way it will present itself into the anana. The anana is the third technology for the one pin. The one pin is the teshkema of law based upon the element of law by the border. In Mars is an equation of ECF315 in relation to the deployment. The deployment of the hemisphere will be air in relation to the Teshkamang. The Teshkamang is the border of the dimension based upon the pollution. The pollution is 1P-FP1524-1829-2143 by the encryption. The math of physics will start in the state of mind based upon Alicia Key. The transfund of the program will restate the mind of power based upon the game machine. Any game machine in the brain capacity, it is the measurement of time by the border, and in that way it convinces itself into the Edana. The third technology will pin out the corrects of realignment of time. The spirit of the sun will burst into tears into heaven based upon the conclusion. This is Jesus. The controller will perform itself into the evolution of time for the sun of the element. The sun of the element will burst into the sun of law based upon the element of law by the border, and in the foreplay it will present itself into a network of one. The strong heart based upon the conclusion of the element will send the fun through any time, any day, anywhere based upon the evolution. The evolution of the DMAC will perform itself into the last message of the component. The component is EBFG1524 based upon this galaxy. The rework of the measurement of time for Mars in the third Ganana is the third technology for the pin. The pin is the way in for Mars in the 39 Galaga. The Galaga is the testament of law based upon the element of law by the border. Any border in the consumption of the pure soul, it will reap itself into the border of the dimension in the relay. The relay will perform itself into network 5 based upon the evolution of time. The conclusion of the element will send the sun through, burst into tears based upon Jesus. The Jesus will program itself into the reprogramming and in so. But if there is the needed in relation to third amount of technology, it will pin out the corrects of realignment of time. The spirit of the sun will burst in relation to the Teskamang. The Teskamang for the ruler is the outer soul. The outer soul is the rework of the petition based upon the strong heart. The strong heart will reprogram itself into the border. Any border for this Galaga, it is transmission. The transmission will reprogram itself into the door of way in relation to 33 degrees. The 33 degrees by the transmission will restate the mind of the power based upon the evolution of time. The transmission will restate the mind based upon the evolution of time for the sun. Any sun in relation to the burst of tears, it will help you to need to know. To need to know the program of the HTC5 is a reprogramming program in relation to the Emanang. The Emanang is the third technology for the Pitkanang. And in so, if this is the third ruler based upon the element of design for the protocol, it will mark itself out into the needed in relation to the destroyer. The destroyer will reprogram itself into the mass of equation. The equation is EMC.